Welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I am one of your hosts, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your nerd today, Carlos Rodriguez. And with me, as always, is from the MC University, now doing her graduate studies in DC. And as we go through and talk about how awesome DC animated movies are, Sly, how are you, Sly?
I am doing well. I'm going to immediately date this
Mm-hmm.
recording. We did, and by we, I mean I did make the grievous error of scheduling a recording at the same time as Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final playoff series.
Yeah.
So I am actively watching that as we record this.
If we know one thing about you,
So
Sly,
my
you hate
emotional,
cocky.
I
From your
hate
background to
hockey
everything,
so
did you
much.
hate it?
Uh-huh, yeah. I'm totally not like ecstatic and like emotional about the fact that they're streaming the entire series with deaf commentators doing the whole show in
Which is
ASL.
awesome.
It's
I saw that.
incredible. It's so good. Anyways, we're not here to talk about hockey. That was just a
Not
disclaimer to
today.
say if my face makes an obscene reaction to something Carlos says, it's because I'm watching
Yeah.
hockey. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm great. I'm really excited to be here with you to talk about the movie that we watched this week.
Hell yes. And that movie is Batman, Mystery of the Batwoman, coming out in 2003. Gonna do a little history class. So it was directed by Kirk Gata, Jennifer Graves, and Tim Maltby. I'm gonna say that right. Written by Alan Burnett and Michael Reeves. The studio, as always, is Warner Brothers Animation. Stars Kevin Conroy. And spoiler for the movie, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the movie, come back. But Batwoman, played by Kimberly Brooks, Kelly Ripa, Elisa Gabrielle, Kira Sedgwick. And there's a reason behind that because there is a mystery behind who Batwoman is in this movie.
Who is the Batwoman? Yeah. And starring the one and only, oh god, I don't know how to say his last name. Joe from Princess Diaries.
Hell yeah, man. Hell
Love him so
yes.
much.
The Genovia, right? That's the name of the fictional
Yeah,
character. Yeah, the aide to
yeah,
Genovia. And the queen's,
the
right
prince,
hand man.
technically. The
Technically,
prince of
yeah.
Genovia. Yeah.
That's a little side note. There are a couple movies. I'm not like the biggest romantic comedy fan, and I
Uh-huh.
never saw that movie growing up. It's one of my wife's favorite movies, and I've seen some bad ones. I'm talking about like 10 things. No, I was gonna say 10 Things I Hate About You. I love that movie. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's a rough watch sometimes. I'll laugh every occasion, and my wife will be like, "You see, you like it?" I was like, "No, it's everything has a funny joke every once in a while." Listen, that one, Princess Diaries one, is fucking awesome. That's a great ass movie, alongside Practical Magic and Sweet Home Alabama. I think. I think there's another one. And, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's another one of my favorites. That's my little side tangent because I do actually love that. But yeah, Hector Elizondo, as we mentioned, Joe from Princess Diaries, is he's Bane, and
So
this is his
much.
first role. I think as Bane too. I think it's his first time.
Yeah, I notably am horrible about being able to identify people's voices. Like I'm deaf, we all know this. And like you have to like I have to know you really well to be
Yeah.
able to pick up your voice. I did, however, watch The Princess Diaries to an obscene amount in my childhood.
So I've never seen
Uh,
two. I know Chris
oh
Pine is
my
in it.
god, it's so good. It's arguably better. I think both
Okay.
are amazing. But movie two, it's like classic enemies to lovers, drama, royalty. I mean, it's Julie Andrews. We love her.
Oh,
We're not here
Julians.
to talk about the Princess Diaries franchise.
It's about to
The
become a
point
Princess
was,
Diaries podcast.
this is about to become 5 different podcasts. It's fine. We're having a great time.
Hockey, Princess
The point
Diaries.
is, I love Joe. I love these movies, and instantly in my notes, I was like, "Is is that Joe? Joey? Joseph?"
He
I
has
love him so
such
much.
a distinct voice, and that's not even saying that like he pitches it a little bit and he kind of puts a little more of an accent to it. and that's nothing bad to say that you could recognize his voice. It's like Yuri Lowenthal or something like that. When you play a game, you're like, is that Yuri Lowenthal? Like it's a little different,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of his
It's
normal
like
voice.
he's acting, but I'm like, I would recognize that
Yeah, I know who
person.
you are, sir. I had to play this around my wife because I wonder if she would like just immediately like jump like I know who that is, and like yes you do. But yeah, as always, we have David Ogden Steers, who is Penguin from the series, Ephraim Zabalish Jr. as Alfred, and Eli Marenthal as what you put in our notes, Robin 3, aka Tim Drake.
AKA
And
Tim Drake, yeah.
yeah, and then I'm not sure if this is one of her earliest roles as Barbara, but Tara Strong as Barbara.
The second canonical to this podcast.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot she was in the previous movie. I was thinking she hasn't taken over the role of Harley Quinn yet. I think at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we have Tara Strong reprising her role as Barbara Gordon, and it's like, wait, did you? Was this your first time seeing the movie?
Yes, definitely. This is one that I don't think was ever on my radar. It should have been. We'll get into like my thoughts on it, but yeah, no, I this is one of the ones that I was like, oh, I don't think I've heard of that, and I'm excited to watch it for this podcast. But yeah, I was surprisingly impressed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is a spoiler for this. It's a good movie.
Mhm.
It's a damn good movie. And I think last week's episode I was like a little more down. I was like, I don't think this was gonna hit similar to Brainiac
Mhm.
Attacks. And I was like, I don't know. And then rewatching this, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot all about the mystery of who the Batwoman was. I've queued it up already. There's four different actresses. I forgot completely about that. I forgot about a lot of little things that happened in this movie, and I was like, damn, I really enjoy this. And it slowly started coming back to me. I think the first time I ever watched this was on Cartoon Network. During the Toonami
Mm,
run, like earlier in the
yeah.
day, they would have like the 7 o'clock. They would either play a movie or I
Yeah,
was gonna I was
yeah,
gonna date myself and be like Meg XLR. I was like, no, now I just sound like old man. Um, but yeah, I think that's the first time I saw it. I didn't own it, and there's apparently an awesome Blu-ray with another movie we'll be covering down the line.
mm.
What's the name? Return of the Joker, Batman Beyond, and this. I'm like, damn, that's a great ass double feature for
A
that
great
Blu-ray.
combo pack, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is it streaming anywhere? No.
Okay, so
Hopefully.
I did Google this.
Oh
It
yeah.
turns out, according to Reddit, which we all know, credible source,
Hmm.
reddit.com, it was on Max years ago, and then Max went through and took off like 30 different like DC movies and like
Yeah.
purged them, and it was part of that purge.
Which makes no
So we
sense.
watched it
Yes.
totally legally.
Absolutely legally. No other way to watch that movie non-legally. But yeah, I remember that. I remember like that was a shining beacon. We mentioned this every episode that there's not something streaming on Max. When HBO Max proper launched, that was like the best thing. Every DC
Mhm.
movie was
Yeah,
on there. And I was like, oh my God.
everything you
And they
could
launched
imagine.
with Titans and Young Justice. And it's like, oh my God, we're back. And then it's like slowly but surely, it's like, oh man, fuck you, David Zasloff. All right, Sly, hit us
I
with
think this is
the
the
placard.
earliest we've got a fuck you, David says love in the episode.
It was bad. I mean, it's gonna happen every episode, but
As it should.
as
I
it
just,
should.
um okay, the plot. This one didn't have a user submitted one again, which always makes me sad because I
I
love the user
know.
submitted ones. But here's a quick plot recap. We got a ruthless, destructive vigilante posing as Batwoman is wreaking havoc on Gotham City. While she sets her sights on thwarting Penguin's evil plans, Batman concentrates on discovering this mysterious imposter's true identity. But when she's captured by the vicious Bane, it falls upon the Caped Crusader to rescue her, defeat Bane, and foil the Penguin's devious plot himself. Listen, I usually stumble a couple of times on the user submitted ones, especially the like run-on sentences.
Hmm.
I think that is the hardest plot recap I've ever had to read
That's a
on
good.
either show.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful. Who wrote that?
Yeah, I need a name. We need to confront you. Whoever you are, you're on our shit list. That was a rough one. Also, I love there's no mention of Rupert Thorne. Like he's just like just some fat dude
Nothing
next
about
to
Thor.
Piglet. Yeah, no, who cares? Who cares?
Nothing about Duquesne. It's fine.
And nothing even about Robin. He's in this movie a bunch. He got some good one-liners, man. Tim is
Mhm.
definitely learning under
Oh,
the Alfred tree. I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, our comic characters this time around, we got Batman, Batwoman, Penguin, Bane. A barber shows up on a phone call. Tim Drake, aka Robin 3. We got a hot second of the usual suspects. Jim Gordon was in there. Harvey Bullock was in there for like 2 seconds.
Hmm.
Actually, Harvey got a little bit of screen time this movie, and we'll talk about why.
Oh man, there were so many good jokes in that one too, man. I love all the little one-liners he has. It's not like he's just stupid. I just love how stupid Bullock is. Like he's a great detective, honestly. He's just stupid man. you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Just stupid
he's, like,
human.
so, like, bigoted and prejudiced, but also turns out to be a pretty solid detective,
Yeah.
and, like, you can't be both. There has to be some give somewhere.
He's like the animated version of Archie Bunker with like way less
Yeah.
racism. Like a completely toned down racism. He just hates vigilantes. He
Mhm.
don't care what color
Yeah.
you are, what gender, what you believe in, who you have sex with. He don't care. He just literally hates vigilantes. That's it.
Doesn't fuck with you if you don't fuck with the law,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like Lex. It's Lex racist against literal aliens from space. Anybody
Mhm.
else?
Yeah.
He's cool if you don't give a fuck. He's not a
Is that
monster.
technically xenophobia?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Technically, yeah, and the base level of it, yeah, it is. All right. Um, so let's start, as always, with the incredible Andrea Romano roundup, as we name after the incredible voice director Andrea Romano, who was voice director on this one. I want to start with crafting a good mystery because this movie legitimately has one of the better mysteries, and I completely forgot the plot that there was three Batwomen
Uh-huh.
in this, and I was obviously the one is very clear as day who it is.
Yeah.
Kathy Duquesne, which is their way of getting Kate Kane
A cat can, yeah, a cat can in there.
because they didn't apparently the trivia behind that was they didn't want to. I think Kate just newly launched maybe a year or two before, and they didn't want to pose her as a villainess in uh, in the sense of the movie to kind of
Mhm.
confuse people. But they wanted to use this like Batwoman motif, the suit and everything, just not
God, that
necessarily her.
suit.
That suit is badass. And then I had notes. I think one of my notes is like, oh, I see where Batman gets the idea for his Beyond suit.
Yeah. Yeah, not necessarily my favorite, but the white and pink does slay. I love
Oh
that for
yeah.
them. It's it's iconic. But yeah, the way I was going into this movie, one of my first notes was about how much I've been enjoying this like season of our podcast
Hmm.
where we're in this like Diniverse space. And that was because like regardless of like how good or bad the story is, you know the art style, the animation is going to be excellent. There's going to be great fight scenes. Like they know the identity of these shows and
Hmm.
these movies and that will shine through regardless of what the story they're telling is. So like that's how I was coming into it. And then I instantly got slapped in the face with a really good mystery. And I'm not mad about it. I was like, damn, you got me. Cause like you it gets set up and you're like, oh, instantly, obviously, like duh, like Kathy Duquesne, Batwoman, haha, funny joke, like it's a spin on Kate Kane.
Hmm.
Like I get where you're going from. Like that's super obvious. And then you get to the Iceberg Lounge and you're like, "Oh shit.
Yeah.
There's 3 of you."
And instead of being like a movie where like, oh, you know, Rocky is who's played by Kelly Ripa, shout out Philly's own Kelly Ripa. She was it Rocky? Oh, I forget what her last name is, but it's Rocky. And then Sonya, instead of them being red herrings, they're also just Batwomen. Like they're all
Yeah.
together Batwoman. And it's like, no, you think it's one? No, it's all three of them. That I was like, oh well, you know what? That's kind of fun. Let's go.
I love a like half red herring that turns out to be the right answer because like D all of the above. I love that so much.
Man, yeah. It's like you think you have the answer. Nope, it's all it was all of the above. And I love it. It throws Bruce off too. And I think
Mhm.
I'm liking that as a pillar of like Bruce and Batman of who he is in the animated series. When he's completely thrown off. I like seeing
Mhm.
him on the edge, whether it be emotionally, whether it be comically, whether it be anything in this sense. And we kind of get that multiple times within this movie. Obviously, we're going to mention Barbara Gordon is in this episode, uh, in this movie, pardon me, for a little
Unfortunately.
bit. And we mentioned in previous episodes that canonically in the DC animated universe, uh, Barbara and Bruce have a relationship that almost has a baby. Unfortunately, there's a miscarriage, but yeah, there's signs now. I don't remember the signs
Mhm.
until she calls, and it's like everyone
Yeah, she
knows
calls and she's coming on strong and he looks very and acts very uncomfortable with
he
everything that's going
is,
on.
as he
And he's
should.
just there being a little sarcastic asshole in the background being like, haha.
Like, no, dude, that's like your older sister. That's gross, dude. This is gross.
It's gross.
And, like, why are you encouraging? I think that I didn't put more notes, but in my head I just put Tim Drake exclamation point because he encourages it, man. Like he's like, yeah, man, you should. He's like, bro, I'm breaking up.
Which
The
is
greatest
so weird to me
detective.
because like Babs is like at best sister status and at worst sister-in-law. Like
Yeah,
either way,
yeah,
that's not the child you want your father romantically involved in. Like that's just weird.
yeah. You know what? And then the more I think about it, right, and I don't want to think about it, is like, is Jim around? Like, because if I'm Jim, I don't give a fuck if you're Batman. We're squaring up. I know I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna have to hit you, dude. Nah, I'm sorry. This ain't cool. You can take
Yeah.
care of her. Listen, if Tim wanted to hook up with her, be weird. It'd be weird as long as he's an adult.
Yeah.
It still be a little weird, but that's a closer age gap. Her and Dick, that makes sense.
Her and Dick makes sense. They're
Her
both
and
in
Jason,
college. They're both in the vigilante life.
yeah,
I have never thought of Babs and Jason together. That we're gonna have to sit on that.
yeah. You gotta
And
read
the
the Three
age gap's a little
Jokers.
too big for me. But
Yeah, that's a we love broke white boys. Jason's a little too much of a broke white boy for Barbara. That's a lot of
oh
fixing.
yeah, that
That
yeah. Mhm.
not
Mhm.
even Barbara
My
Gordon can
favorite
fix
fresh
that.
and white boy.
Exactly. But yeah, so we
Where
have
were we? Oh,
oh yeah, just
the
Batman, Bruce
mystery
being
of it
thrown
all.
across, yeah. But the fact that he's thrown off, like by knowing so much, oh, it's Kate, it's Kate, it's Kate, and then
Mhm.
seeing her, and then seeing Batwoman on this awesome ass glider, by the way. And then he's
Yeah.
like, all right, well
There's
now I
3
don't
of
know what the
them.
hell I'm
All
doing.
3 gliders. Fucking slap. Yeah, I think that's the best thing about this movie and the way it was structured is we get the intelligent, competent, like, detective, like, greatest detective in the world, um, like Bruce and Batman that we know and love, and he's, like, picking up on all the signs and clues. He's just thrown off by how contradictory they all are.
Hmm.
So he's like, "Oh yeah, obviously it's like this girl I'm like going to flirt with to get close to figure out what she's up to." And then, "Oh, this tech aligns with the tech that was made by one of my like employees." And then you're like, "Oh, wait, like both of you like are doing something else." This brand new badass cop that just showed up to be Harvey's
Super
detective.
badass
Let's
cop.
talk about how much I love her. We'll get to it. We'll get
Sonya
to
was awesome.
it. She's so cool. But yeah, like Bruce is like competently like sussing out all the clues, and it's not like he's just oblivious or whatever. So it feels true to his character. But
Mhm.
they still manage to spin an interesting and compelling mystery for the audience and for, and I think that is what makes this such a well-crafted movie.
It do, and then you can even see it from like Bruce's standpoint. Like, all right, the tech that Rocky showed me earlier, and he loves that stuff, so he's seeing that.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well maybe she's just helping. He doesn't even consider that she could be a Batwoman. Sonya being a cop and with Bullock, and like, okay, you know, your parents went through this hardship. Maybe you're helping as well, like letting the law kind of get away.
Yeah.
He automatically is like, yeah, it's Kathy,
Yeah.
Kathy, but like they're helping her. Like, no, all three of them are helping each other. Like, you
Yeah.
talk about like girl power, like that's what this is, man. They are bad
We love a
asses,
triad.
and then all three of them have such compelling arguments to be vigilantes.
Oh yeah. There
Amazing.
we have three well-developed, fleshed out, like well thought out characters to like star this movie. And like sure they're sharing a mantle, but every one of them brings their own talent and has their own like compelling reasons for being a part of this like efforts. And
Hmm.
that's just like again, this is what 2003. We're
That's
getting
great.
this quality, like well-written women in 2003.
Yeah.
That's kind of impressive.
And it actually passes the Bechdel test that all of them talk to each other
It does.
because they have to. Thank God.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're talking about crime, but it counts.
But it's so cool to see. And then this is the other thing, going back to the kind of joking around with the Barbara thing. Sonya's reasoning, right, is to at least get a Batmantle is because Batman saved her when she was 10.
Mhm.
So she's roughly what, 22? If now most DC
Yeah,
humans seem
probably.
to be either hyper intelligent to a more than our Earth standpoint,
Mhm.
and a little more physically resistant to like pain and stuff, right? So she's probably like 21, 22. If she's like that good, and she just got out of the academy, probably went right to the detective. 23 at the most. So that's a good 13-year gap. Barbara's what, 20, 21, and that means
Maybe
13 years
21.
ago she's like a kid, and
Mhm.
Bruce is running around as
It's like
Batman.
8.
Like, yeah,
Mm,
it's gross, dude. It's gross.
mm. Yeah.
Ugh, I
Okay.
don't like it, man.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's an incredible like um storyline for Sonya. Rocky storyline of her, you know, her fiance getting caught for something he didn't do
Oh yeah.
and falling down that. And then I love that Bruce is able to help all three of them in some way, shape, or form. And that there's consequences for, was it Duquesne's dad, you know, Carlton Duquesne,
Hmm.
played
Yeah.
by the way the amazing Kevin Michael Richardson, who also, Sly, this is not a trivia question, but who else does he play in another Batman property? Do we know?
I have no idea.
He is the Joker in the 2004 The Batman series.
Okay, I love him. He's so good in that.
He is so good
Wait,
as
he's
Joker.
incredible.
Yeah. And one of my
Oh
favorite
my
shows growing up in the
god.
90s, Homies in Outer Space, and UPN.
Yeah.
UPN was shooting everything. It was like, we're going to have black sitcoms. We're going to have black sitcoms set in space. We're doing everything. Like, all right. Good job. I watched the shit out of that series. That's not a joke. It's a real show that I watched religiously and was devastated when it was canceled. Justice for Homies in Outer Space. But everyone gets like
Justice
a
for
really
the
good.
Batman 2004 series.
I honestly, it does. Like in hindsight,
Fuck him so much.
it was a better series than we everyone gave it credit for. That
Mhm.
again, I mentioned this before, and well, when we get to the Batman versus Dracula movie that takes place in that series, there's a couple cartoons that weren't given the right time of day because of
Mhm.
like where the state of like Saturday morning cartoons were at that time. And I think now going back 20 years later, they're getting their due justice now with the Batman, um, the 2003 Ninja Turtles animated series that was on
Yeah.
Fox Kids. Like they
That
now these
series is
shows are.
great.
It is. It's really good, and like it's so easy for like older people like me to be like, oh, it's not mine, so it's different. Like no, it's still good. It's really good. But
Fortunately, this is the time where I make you feel old because it
yes,
was my
it's
series.
yours. It is your series. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, mystery wise, I mean, it's amazing to see that. And then I wanted to we'll go to the next section, and then we'll loop around to
Oh,
the
yeah.
my final one. But which Batwoman is our bias? You posed this question, so we'll start with you, Sly.
I did. Yeah, I just thought this would be a fun question because obviously we have three characters playing Batwoman, and they all have very different and distinct like personalities and motivation. And so I just thought it'd be fun to talk about like which one do we relate to, which one do we like. Um, I realized I don't remember any of their names. Okay, we got Kathy, we got Rocky, and we got Sonia.
Hmm.
I nailed it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, this is a tough question
Yeah.
because like my gut says Sonia. Like I love her. She's badass. I want 10 million times more of her. She was great. But also like Rocky, brilliant, genius,
Yes.
badass, and I feel like she's not going to get enough love ever. And so I might have to go Rocky. I started this thinking my pick was going to be Sonia, but I'm calling an audible. I think I got to go Rocky.
That was in the beginning. I was like, ooh, when you posed this question before we started filming, I was thinking about it while we were setting up. I was like, oh, I want to go Kathy. Right? She's so confident. She's so like,
Yeah.
she's got that Catwoman flair to her. I think that's why Bruce likes her because there's a genuine
Yeah. I mean,
relationship they
Alfred
develop.
calls that out
Yeah,
immediately. Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm gonna have to. I gotta be with you. I think it's gonna be Rocky because I love like her little stammerings. Like
Yes.
when she gets in, like when they have the dinner, Bruce and
Oh, when she's talking about Bruce having a boyfriend, I love her so much.
and she just starts staring, and Bruce is like, "You're good. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "Oh my god, I just called my boss gay." It's like, well, you're not off. I mean, maybe you
You're
never know.
not too wrong about that.
Different universes, I'm sure. You know.
We ship Superbat in this household.
Yes, exactly. Again, Bruce is a power bottom. And
So true.
exactly,
Whew,
exactly.
okay.
But
I'm
Rocky is
glad we shook
awesome.
hands on
Yeah,
Rocky. I love that also that our gut picks were two
separate.
different
Yeah.
because like they're all three of them are so good.
And they picked three amazing voice actors, which is funny because like I'm not used to Kelly Ripa. I'm used to like the Ryan and Kelly or like the Regis and Kelly, that Kelly Ripa or like the what was it Days of Our Lives, I guess whatever sitcom she was on or
Mhm.
soap opera. But that's where the bulk of the animated series cast is from. It's like they cut their teeth on these soap opera shows, and I think it's easy for us to be like, oh my god, it's just a soap opera, it's overacting, it's all this other stuff. But honestly, it's like how many episodes of a show do they film a year? And they're constantly working, working, working. So like they're more accomplished than we give them credit for. And like it
So like
shows Kelly does a
sheer
great job.
amount of work, and
Hmm.
then I think also being able to translate that talent into a completely different medium. And I think this is one of the we have to shout out Andrea Romano every episode
Hmm.
because like you can have all the big names you want, and we the current state of like voice acting, like stunt casting. So you can have all the like great, talented, big name actors you want, but if you're not getting a quality performance out of them, it's gonna sound like shit. And for them to take all of these like talented, established, like well off, like television actors and be able to get such a similar performance out of them just using their voice takes like true like talent and coaching and direction. And so I
Absolutely.
think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And like that's one of the things I love because it's easy to, it really is easy to hire Chris Pratt, you know. for Mario, for Garfield, for all these things.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he gets a lot of roles.
I
And
don't know why it's so easy to hire him. I think it should be less. That's a different
right,
conversation.
but like he didn't do a horrible job. Let's say like in Mario, right? And Charlie Day didn't do a horrible job as Luigi. Like they did okay for their roles, and Anna Taylor-Joy, who I absolutely adore in film, she did okay as Princess Peach. But like when you get Keegan Michael Key, who can do the actual like legitimate acting and then do his voice work, puts his all into Toad, and then you get Jack Black, who is somehow so multi-talented that he could just when he's like, oh, he's just doing Jack Black, but like he brings such a weird gravitas to Bowser. That it's not a Mario
Mhm.
podcast, by the way. I'm just in general. I'm just like just comparing like film
Yeah.
actors, but like he brings such a gravitas to Bowser, and he actually takes and cares about what he's doing. That he's like a full blown voice actor. That's why we have these voice actors, these performance actors in these video game space, animation space that like absolutely kill it. But when you get a big name, it's always like I think of many of us is like, do they need to do this? Like,
Yeah, there's something missing. They don't have like as much like emotional gravitas to their performance.
mm-hmm,
Like it's good and you appreciate it, but there's not that thing that like it captures you and sucks you into the story in the
no,
same way.
yeah, it's a shame. It's absolutely a shame. But thank God for Andrea Romano. Uh, Finally, before we get
She
to
did
like a little,
very good.
I know, before we get into our breakdown of like the movie proper and like some of our notes, this movie is one of the rare ones that actually has a featured song in Betcha
Mhm.
Never by where I had the note here. Who is I actually don't have the note, but Betcha Never is a song that plays in the Iceberg Lounge. And then again in the ending credits, and very 80s esque, showing like Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
smiling, like Full House esque ending credit scene. Now I wanted to bring this up because not many of these DC anime movies have like a dedicated song, and
Mhm.
this is something you and Mario dealt with in the MC University. Many movies of those times had soundtracks, whether it be The Punisher. Maybe the movie's not great, but that album slaps, man.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah,
get Slither, some Figure
unfortunately.
11, yeah. Elektra, awesome soundtrack. Daredevil, awesome soundtrack. Movies, they are what they are. you know?
I love Electra. This is not. If you want to hear about how much I love Electra,
Yes,
go listen to MC University. We
absolutely.
talk about Electra like every other episode. It's fun. But yeah, so it was really fun. We did used to have music class, of
Yeah,
course, and talk about what it meant, like the state of like superhero media. And like we've had some like decent scores
yeah.
throughout, but overall it's just been like it's been like the perfect balance of not bad enough that it's noticeable, but not good enough that it stands out. It's right in that sweet spot where it's
Hmm.
like it's good and it serves the purpose so you don't really notice it, which I think is the sign of like a really solid
Yeah.
score. And that's what we've had until this point. But right off the bat, honestly, the opening credits,
Mm,
the song, that score that plays under those credits immediately hooked me in. I'm like,
yeah.
I had seen your notes about like there being good music in this, and I was prepared for it, I thought. And then
Oh,
that opening credit sequence hit, and I was like,
it's
oh
crazy
shit.
how it hits.
It hits. And then again, when we get to the Iceberg Lounge, I'm like, wow, this song slaps. I think I wrote that both times when it plays in the movie and the end credits. Both times I was like, this song fucking it's great. I think it was wonderful. It fit the tone, it served the story, and also it was a fucking bop.
It was, man, and it's surprising because I believe that artist. Unfortunately I didn't get their name, and this is how you can tell. I think they might be a one hit wonder, but it's just such a. I think it's like like Claire or something like that. I think they're a UK artist, and it felt it didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel out of place when you see it play in the Iceberg Lounge. It just made me want to. What?
Sherry, Cherie
Yeah,
is the
yeah, that's right.
performer.
That's right. That's right. It made me want to go to the Iceberg Lounge. I had notes here. I was like, man, I want to go to the Iceberg Lounge. I understand that the owner is a penguin. I understand there's filled with criminals, but listen, I think if you go with your partner to the Iceberg Lounge for a really nice night, I think you're gonna get a good dinner. There's some
It's a
polar
date
bears,
night, yeah.
yeah, and then you
Mhm.
get this song, like, oh yeah, you dancing. You just gotta hope Penguin isn't up to too much bad shit that the Batman shows up.
True. And that was what was so genuinely hilarious to me in this movie is that we get to see like Brucey Wayne casually going on a dinner date at the Iceberg Lounge. Like I'm like, you know what that is.
Yeah,
You know where you're going. And yet you're patroning this business anyway. And you know what? I respect that.
yeah,
Commit to the persona.
and I love his little snide comment to Penguin. He was like, "Oh, last time I was with you, you stole a bunch of plutonium from Wayne Tech." He was like, "Ah, my younger days." I was like, "Excuse me."
I think he says like younger and wilder days or something
Yeah, it
like that. Oh,
was like
he's
two
so
years
fun.
ago, probably.
Right. But yeah, the music was excellent. I want to talk about the villains though,
Yeah,
because we got
three
some
decent
great
villains.
villains.
Yeah,
Yeah. We got Duquesne doing Duquesne things.
yeah.
What was the line about like infamous gangster or whatever? And then she's like, we try not to use the G word around.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like, okay, but
We
you know
have
what your dad
Thorn,
does.
obviously.
Yeah, Thorn making
What
another
and
appearance.
what else? Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It
Good
was
to
nice. I
see
always
his.
forget about Rupert Thorne. He's consistently seen throughout like the series at least every once in a while. And then Penguin, of course. This is our first film. I always love Penguin too when he's not like I like Danny DeVito as the Penguin in Batman Returns,
Uh-huh.
but there's a time and a place for that Penguin. I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
love just the gangster, just the mobster
Yeah.
Penguin. Like he
And
seems more
I
dangerous that way.
love, yeah, I love the Batman 2004 series. And so many of those interpretations are my favorite.
Mhm.
That penguin is a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
Uh-huh.
a little off the rails. And I really, truly a grounded penguin where it's just like he's just a like freaking like a posh rich white dude
Yep.
and like ooh capitalism like is
I
the
respect
big
it.
bad at play here. I respect it. Yeah, I think it's so fun and interesting and adds such a dimension to the stories to have that like mobster penguin type. You see that in the Gotham TV show.
Yeah, that's
I think
right.
that's
Yeah.
the first Gotham reference on this podcast of
Not gonna
many.
be the last. Don't worry.
It's absolutely not. But I really love when we get that sort of like down to earth, not so much of a costumed villain type penguin. I really enjoy how here.
Yeah, because he's at least to me has always been portrayed correctly for whatever the BDM calls for. Like in the world of Batman
Hmm.
Returns
Yeah,
and '89 Batman, Danny DeVito as as weird
zany.
as
Yeah.
yeah, he's perfect. And then you get this very normal, just uber rich boy, like nepotism baby penguin and Cobblepot in this, and he is perfectly cast, perfectly executed, and he's constantly a thorn in Batman's side just due to money and his
Hmm.
brains. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he's a step ahead and is able to have these weapon deals, have these like underground. He has like an underground weapons manufacturing thing in this random ass plant. It's like under Batman's nose in Gotham, mind you,
Yeah.
when he knows like
Behind a fake pile of
you're nuts.
like cardboard boxes. They
Yep.
just slide across to reveal it. That was so genuinely funny to me. I cackled. I lost my mind.
And then when they even come across Batwoman, who's taking things very seriously, and Batman, who's like also on their tail now, and they were doing pretty good without them being on their tail. The first thing they do is use their money, and I was like, all right, well, we can't obviously fight
All
them.
right, we're
We'll,
gonna buy
let's
you
buy
off. Yeah.
Bane. And then I forgot that Bane was in this movie, and then I was pleasantly surprised to see Bane. I love this interpretation of Bane. He's so perfect
Yeah.
because he's so cunning, so smart, and then when he juices up, he's like, Jesus, yeah, I always forget. That's it. Carlton has this face of fear that comes over him when he confronts Bane. And like for if anyone somehow didn't watch this movie, if you see Carlton Duquesne, he's this giant man. Like a giant like normal dude. Like he looks
Yeah.
like almost like I
He's
would
like
equate him to
almost as broad as Bruce, which is
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, and he looks more muscular, you know, like almost
Uh-huh.
I feel like if he was like live action, it would be like Michael Clark Duncan's version of the Kingpin, or
Yeah,
like
where
a
he's
Terry
like very
Crews or
like
something like that. You know, like would play
bulky.
him.
Yeah.
But when he confronts Bane in a physical match, he's literally scared, as he should be,
Mhm.
because he's
Yeah.
different
Bane is terrifying.
in every aspect. Like he's gonna destroy your life with his smarts,
He's gonna
and then just
crack all your ribs.
yeah.
It's fine.
I think I have a note
Yeah,
here
no.
when Batman comes across him. Like I was like, how many
Uh,
times you like Bruce deals with Penguin, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, all these people. Do you think like every time he comes across Bane, he's just like, fuck, man, I know I'm gonna have like 4 cracked ribs by the end of this. I don't feel like dealing with
uh,
this shit right now. This sucks.
right. Yeah, because it's not like Ivy's pollen or
Yeah. I might get stabbed by
being
Joker.
frozen to
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have
Uh,
broken bones. Like this is gonna suck for
yeah.
2 weeks.
And that's the thing is like, especially like fractured ribs, you can't do shit about that. You just have to wait for it to heal. And they always take forever. And you know Batman's not taking a night off. So
No.
he's going out with cracked ribs. And then they're gonna take even longer to heal.
Yeah. He just literally just puts him back a little. He's like, fuck man, this sucks.
Mhm.
Like, man, this month is gonna suck. And then he just gets in the fight. Um yeah, let's talk about the movie. It from beginning in, obviously it's great. We've already raved about the mystery, the music and everything like that. But there's some things I wanted to mention. Um I
That was a
think
beautiful transition. Can I cut you off for
yes, absolutely.
one quick second?
Yeah.
Um, so Mr. Joseph from The Princess Diary is from PR, I think.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. How many Spanish speaking Banes have we ever had? Because it honestly kind of surprised me a little bit, and it shouldn't have, because
Oh,
the
that's a good question.
inspiration of Bane is very much like luchador like style, like so it makes sense to have
Oh my
like
God.
Hispanic Bane.
Yeah,
How
because
many
we
have we
had
had?
I
Not many, right?
I don't maybe 3? Because Danny Trejo plays him in Young Justice. Hector plays him in this, and then I believe maybe the previous voice actor was as well, was of Latin nature. But I that might be obviously Tom Hardy plays him in The Dark
Yeah.
Knight Returns and The Dark Knight Rises, and then as well we have some random white dude that plays him, and a white short person, in which was a choice, in Batman and Robin. Um, but yeah, I think more
Yeah.
often than not, unfortunately, we get a non-Hispanic Bane playing Bane. Like, so yeah, that does suck. I'm trying to think. We see
Well, that's a win. Slay. We get a Hispanic Bane for one.
Shane West played him in Gotham. That one hurt. I don't. There's no way in hell he's Hispanic at all, unless unless it's a Mark Paul Gosselaar who played Zach in what's the name? Saved by the Bell. I didn't know he was Indonesian. I was like, oh, that's cool. No, yeah, I think he's just from Canada. Okay, no, Baton Rouge. I'm sorry. Yeah, Michael Dorn played him, so that's kind of close. Um, he's not white, so that's good. uh,
Partial slay.
yeah, Doug Benson played him in the Lego Batman movie. Um,
Alright.
yeah, it's not looking good for Henry Silva. Yeah, so Henry Silva was previous voice actor before Hector took over, and that he is Hispanic. We have Carlos. I can never pronounce his last name. Alaco. He's the guy who's Reno 911. He's a Taco Bell dog. He does a lot of voice acting. He also played him. And yeah, I think Danny Trejo and finally Hector. That's it. I think it's just 4. I'm not counting. They put like the person Kenta who played him in Batman Ninja. Like, listen, that's an anime. That's I don't know how many Spanish speaking people you have over there.
Not many, I would
Yeah,
guess.
no. Oh my god, this is bad. This is really bad. Yeah, hire me.
So
I'll
that
play
was our
Bane.
brief detour in hire people who actually represent the characters you are. I'm sure that will come back many a time in the future. But I just wanted to have that moment on
Yeah.
the podcast. But yeah, let's dig into this movie. What are your thoughts?
Well, now anger at the thought of only like 4 Latin actors playing Bane.
Fair
And
enough.
then live action, it's like every white dude. It's like Shane West from that Mandy Moore movie, the one where she has cancer. Why? Why is Shane West playing Bane? God damn it.
Choice.
Fuck. Damn it, Sly. Yeah, this movie's awesome.
We're here for the content.
Yes. Alfred, as always, slays. So many sarcastic one-liners. And he's teaching Tim. Tim has so many good one-liners. And he's so adorable. And I think I think when Rocky shows him how to beat the game, I think I have a note here where I was like, oh man, it's good to see him all happy for now.
Fuck you.
I was like,
I
God.
want to talk about that game though, because
Yeah.
I love a reoccurring video game in a media project. I love it so much. 911, the hit ABC TV show, has
Now.
2 reoccurring video games in it. There's like a fighter and a shooter. Anyways,
Oh,
they
really?
use like same 2 games like whenever they're playing video games. It's one of the 2. That's not the point. The point is we have like, what is this? It's like a 2D like puzzle, maybe
Yeah, something like kind of
platformer,
dungeon crawler kind of
dungeon
deal.
crawler,
Yeah, it looks
probably a
like
dungeon crawler, and it looks so fucking cool. If somebody hasn't already made a like dupe of this video game, I need you to make it like right now. Like who do we know? Who are our friends in game dev? Who can we bully into making this video game for us,
so
Carlos?
we got to get Graham. Since
Yeah, absolutely.
we were both friends of Graham, we got it. Graham, that's your next game.
Okay.
You got to make a dungeon
Yep,
crawler.
there we go. Nailed it.
Just kill it again with the music. Get Fat Bart again. But yeah, Graham, you got to make this game. You have to do it for us, just for us, just
But
for us
of
two.
course, if you don't know who the incredible Graham is, it's Graham Reed of notable Hectocube for the
Okay.
iOS, which I fucking loved that game, and Super Space, which is so good.
So goddamn good. That
I
music's
think
amazing.
both of us have done interviews with him on our
You guys
various
interviewed him, and I
platforms.
did a review. I got a code,
Gotcha.
and I did a review.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
great
check
game.
out Super Space Club. But that's not what we're going to talk about.
We're talking about Graham making this game a reality. But yeah, no, it was such a cute moment to see just him being a normal kid. Any Robin being a normal kid, it's always adorable. Like it's just like, oh, this is cute. And then
And
it's
the
just
rarity.
it's also especially bittersweet to what happens to Tim Drake in this universe. Unfortunately, we'll get to that another episode. But I love that. I love how sassy he is as a Robin. I did love that. Obviously, we talked about the musical performance. I I also I have a note here because we didn't mention it, but Alfred's the one who solves the case for Bruce.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
as
always
he
like, it's
should.
the rhythm. Yeah, it's
I love when we get a like sassy and competent Alfred. Like this man raised Bruce. Like he is smart, intelligent. He was in like what special forces for the
yeah, SAS, yeah.
Royal Army. Yeah. So like this man knows his shit, and for him to be like the obvious answer is
Yep.
they're all Batwoman. I love that for him so much. Alfred in this movie, truly like one of my standout characters. He
Yes.
gets a lot of screen time. He gets a lot of great one-liners. As we said, we'll probably mention a few of them later.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's here, he's serving. We love him.
Yeah, I also love the because we're both chronic TikTokers, like just always on TikTok. I love the edits of Alfred that we get in so many like Panda who does it, Panda
Mhm.
Red. He does awesome skits about Alfred. There I saw one recently, I have to send it to you, but it was like these Gotham mobsters kidnapped Damien. And the one smart one's like, hey, you guys said you kidnapped a billionaire's kid. Oh my god, it's Damian Wade. And everyone's freaking out. I was like, why are you freaking out? I was like, because Batman's Bruce Wayne. And they're
He's
like,
got a
wait.
sword.
And everyone's like, wait, oh my god, Batman would be Bruce Wayne. That makes sense. And then they start freaking out. He's like, hey, Damien, who's gonna come and get you? Like, and he was like, please say Nightwing, please say Nightwing. It's like, it's daytime. And then you hear like the royal, like the Queen song play, and it's Alfred with a shotgun. It's like, yes, hell yeah. You
Mhm.
don't mess with his babies. He loves his
Truly.
ducklings. Um, I'm sorry, I had another note here I wanted to. Oh, you know what? It's a suit note because this is our first time, at least movie wise, we've seen the Justice League suit, what I want to call it, the single bat,
Mm.
no oval around it. This one obviously in Justice League it has a little more of a blue hue, similar to the original animated series. This is all black. What what do we feel about this suit? Do we like this over the original animated series suit?
I probably have some hot takes about this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're talking about when we're comparing, we're talking about like the main look, the original one with the yellow oval with the logo.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the black logo with the blue cape and cowl,
Yes.
and then we have the all black and gray like monochromatic look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my favorite is the black and gray suit with the like navy blue cowl.
Yeah.
That's like when I think of Batman, that's the suit I think of. I mean, like the classic is the classic. Like if I see that one, I'm like, oh yes, like it's the classic. But when I like, if you told me to picture Batman in my head, I would think of like the black and gray suit and the
Yeah. Yeah. I always go this one specifically, the all black. I do like the navy hues. I don't think there's anything
good
wrong
one.
with it. I just like the just singular bat. I don't, to me it never made sense. And I obviously canonically there is a reason behind the oval. It's like because that's where he wants you to shoot him so you don't hit him in the face. But the oval has always been a strange one for me. I like obviously liked it from the 89 Batman. I thought that was cool, and then a lot of different iterations of that. But something about just the actual just bat on his chest, it just looks cool to me. It
Yeah,
looks
it's so
awesome.
slick.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just like that
simple.
sleek, like simple, but like quality. Like yeah, I think the yellow oval has to for so many people, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always gravitate towards just the simple bat. And I think I like that one most because my favorite like bat properties tend to be like the bat family and the way they can all customize that like simple silhouette to fit their own style. I think
Yeah.
is what I love so much about it. Like I love the like simple plain black like strong lines outline
Hmm.
that we get here because it's like he's the original, like he's the OG, he's the one everybody, and then we get to see all the iterations. We get to see the white suit with the pink accent, which
Yes.
I legitimately, I really
So
enjoyed
cool.
the movie. But you get to see the way each character spins it off. Of course, Babs' suit is always pretty cool,
Iconic.
depending on what they're doing with her chest. Dimensions is always a
Yes.
toss up, but the like aesthetic of the suit itself is generally pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then of course all the Robins have their flair and style.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, well, even when you get to like Jason's like his newer, not newer, but his most recent like Red Hood is like almost like a red bat, but with like his little eye
mhm.
slits like as like a symbol. Like it
Yeah,
has
I
like
love
it could
that.
looks like a bat. Nightwing, obviously, I have the tattoo. I love that
Yeah.
simple line work of it. You're right. The
I think the
simplicity.
Nightwing iteration is the best iteration.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah,
yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
very partial to that. The only one I would say is probably the worst one is the Red Robin, the double R's on Tibbs
Yeah,
when they didn't know what the
it's
hell
a
they were
rough
doing.
one.
Yeah, that's always a
God, I love
difficult one.
Tim Drake, but Red Robin, like theoretically, theoretically the name is kind of cute, but when you
Mm.
think too hard about it, you're like, yum.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for anyone outside of the United States, I'm assuming it has to be in Canada and other places. Yeah, Red Robin
Uh-huh.
is a local chain, and that's all I think of as well. And then I get hungry, and I'm like, God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, any other notes?
What are the other notes? Bruce deserves a boyfriend, to be honest. I do
Mm.
love Rocky so much for that, for giving us that thought and just planting it right in my head. The sushi that they ate on their date looked kind of good, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I was gonna order sushi
surprisingly.
to eat with, like, while watching the movie, and I decided not to. I got some pad see ew, and then I got to that scene, and I was like, I should have gotten for the
Yeah,
sushi.
damn it. Yeah.
I was almost on theme. Oh, my oh, I think one of my favorite moments in this movie is when Brucey Wayne goes to flirt with Kathy and finds her shopping at a store.
Oh my
And
God,
then
yes.
she's like, get me out of here. And Bruce is like, one daring escape coming right up. Like, no
Hmm.
questions asked. Like, I'm gonna get you the hell out of there. And then he's like, who are we running from? And
Yeah, like
it's
wait a
just
minute.
like her dad's bodyguards. It's fine. Like, she's not in danger at all. She just wanted to make some mischief. I just, I think that's so hilarious that no matter how much of the persona of like Brucey Wayne, like playboy billionaire he's putting on, like his gut instinct is always like the daring heroic rescuer.
Hmm.
And I was like, it really shines through like who this person is as a character.
I
And I just
also,
thought it was so
yeah,
funny.
I love that. I love that scene too. Let me double check. All right, it's not in drama class, so it's good. There's a quick one liner in that scene with the
Mhm.
henchman, and it's right after she kicks him out. She's like, dude, no one's gonna like kidnap you while I'm chained, like while I'm trying on clothes. He's like,
Oh
oh, fine.
yeah.
And the one guy goes, there's two lines. One guy oh no, it's one line and then a little funny little scene. He goes, oh, man, I miss working for the Joker. And
It is in drama class.
oh, it
We'll
is?
get to
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to try on like scarves and women's hats, and he's living his best goddamn life. And his buddy
He
is just
looks
like,
great.
fucking slay, queen, let's go. Like, he's just encouraging him. And I was like, you know what? Are y'all a couple? And I'm down with that if y'all are.
Down with that.
Yeah. Also, I love one of your notes is
Uh
saying that all three of them should be in a throuple. And I was like, you know what?
oh
I
yeah,
see it.
absolutely. I need that fanfic on my desk by Monday. Thank you very much. One of my other favorite from this movie, pretty sure this is a penguin coat. He's the only person who would ever is when he goes, Egads, they're multiplying.
It's such a great line. It's so genuine
So
from him.
good.
It's so genuine. It's
Um,
so good.
okay, I have two very serious and important questions for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are are you ready?
I am ready.
First of all, the shield, the police shield that they wear in this movie
Yeah.
says GPD. I always thought it was GCPD. When did that happen?
I don't know when that change happened, but I think no, because there was a GCPD comic book series before this, so that'd be a weird, right? That's where we got Montoya, right?
I thought so. I've only ever known it as the GC. Again, most of
Same.
my interactions do come through fanfics of the comic and not necessarily reading the comics. And I will admit to that. But the GPD threw me off. I was a little like, that
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So
Um,
at least as early as we could tell, 1996. There is a GCPD publication that's a miniseries focused on intertwining subplots for the minor case stolen office equipment to Detective Bullock. So at some point, yeah, they just messed up and no one realized it other than you.
interesting.
Mhm.
Great. Love that for me. And then my second one is uh how do we feel about Kathy DeCane's constant use of the word daddy throughout this entire film?
It is disturbing to say the least,
It
but
is,
it plays up to her character. Like she's playing a
yeah,
role.
she is playing a role, and I understand that, but it is egregious the amount of times that word comes out of her mouth, and she's playing it so straight too. Like she's
She
so
is.
genuine. But like this woman's in her what, early 20s?
Yeah, early to mid at least. Worst case scenario,
Early
like
to mid
25.
20s, yeah. And she is so genuinely calling daddy. And
It's the
I couldn't
inflection
do
as
it.
well. Yeah, it's the inflection
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure Babs does the same with Jim, but like
Mhm.
it's never to the daddy, like that
Yeah.
Kathy does.
Mhm.
I think she says it at the end of the movie when she's talking about his prison sentence and how I get to visit him.
Yeah.
And I think that the inflection there is fine because it's just like a normal, yeah, I'm gonna see daddy when I go, and it's normal, but she hypes it up throughout the rest of
Uh-huh.
the movie because she's like this spoiled nepo baby.
The note that got to me was the daddy to the rescue
Oh,
comment. Ugh,
yeah.
ugh, no,
I wish I did like at that
can't do
point
it.
he stopped. He's like, "You gotta stop. You're a grown ass adult. Just call me dad."
You are a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you have your own paycheck, but I don't think that woman has a job. She's never been employed in a day in her life.
No, no. Her job is just sitting there. That's it.
Her job is shopping.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it seems like a fun job in Gotham. It seems like you get a lot of shopping done. As long as you're not getting robbed or
Pretty good at it.
randomly
Yeah,
accosted by the Joker.
true. How did this movie end? What did Bruce do that I thought was cute?
So Carl goes away. He agrees to flip on Thorn and Penguin. He finds the evidence to help exonerate Rocky's
Yeah.
boyfriend, and he gives it to
Ivan, I think his
Sonia.
name was.
Yeah, I think it's like some random ass name. And he gives it to Sonia so she can deliver it to Rocky as like a hey, this is for you. I want to give it to you. And then Sonia leaves for he says somewhere without.
Just pack up her desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I think you're probably referring to the fact that he gives her like the thing to exonerate Kevin.
Okay, probably. I'll take your word for it. Again, I did watch this movie about 24 hours ago. So I think I would at least some of it. But you know what? It's
Listen,
fine.
it's all right. It's all right. It's not that
It's a great
serious.
movie.
Yeah,
We
it
had a
is.
great
It
time.
is
Yeah.
actually a really good movie. Yeah, we're gonna
Mhm.
mention that multiple times. It actually is a decent movie. I was hoping that Kevin or whoever her boyfriend was gonna be played by Mark Consuelos, who is Kelly Ripa's real
Mm.
life husband. Because honestly, anytime they do anything outside of like the soap opera or whatever, they actually like always put each other in every other like movie or whatever they're
Yeah,
doing. It's cute.
that's
I was like, is
adorable.
that?
Yeah.
I literally went to like my phone to be like, is that Mark Consuelos? Like, it was not, unfortunately. I'm like, oh man, boo. Um, all right. So that is the movie. We're gonna move on to one of my favorite sections, drama class, as we reenact some of our favorite scenes. Um,
I'm gonna pick up my wallet. Prepare for this.
all right, for the first one, you're gonna be Alfred. I already know it.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yes. All right. So this is right after the discovery of Batwoman. Bruce is lamenting about this. So I'll start as Bruce. The last thing Gotham needs is a vigilante running amok.
As they say on the street, sir, I ain't touching that one.
So good. So good.
I
Goddamn,
love
Alfred.
him so much.
And the best is like also canon wise, Alfred was in like the Royal, was it Circus, right? I think it was Royal Circus or the Royal Theater, right? I think it's the Royal
Theater,
Theater.
probably. I think
Yeah.
Shakespeare. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like not only a trained actor and like a murderer. There's some random ass fly I'm trying to kill. I'm not trying to grab you, whoever like out there in
I just
YouTube
love
land.
that not only is he a trained actor and a murderer.
Yeah. Also, just an all around father, like just a jack
Great
of all
father.
trades. Yeah, great father.
Hmm.
It's really like excels at everything he like puts his mind to.
Hmm.
Um. Oh, this is the scene I was mentioning earlier, which is one of my favorites. I'll play the thug. You be Kathy.
Perfect. It's a dressing room. The worst that could happen is I'll need a size 8. Why don't you go rob gift wrap or something?
Miss working for the Joker. Which says a lot, man. That she like
It
he
really
like
does.
hates like being her bodyguard specifically so much that he's like, I'd rather be in constant fear of my life by the Joker.
Yeah, because Joker's minions never safe.
No,
Not safe a day in the life. They're not getting health care. It's not like Red
no,
Hood.
no.
Red Hood is all about the health care. Joker couldn't give a fuck. He could have
Yeah.
gassed you up and leave you for dead. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Hey, you could do everything right that day, and he'd be like, I'm bored.
And still get murdered. Yeah.
Carlin is out here like he's like, you got good money, you got good suits. All you have to do is take care of my daughter. You know what, sir? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you to kill me. I'd rather die than deal with your daughter. She is horrible. Man. All right, next is this is one of my favorite lines. I'll do the penguin on this one.
Incredible.
It's like Batman, Batgirl, Batwoman. What is it about this city? The water? So good.
Truly.
Honestly, yeah, there's something wrong. That's how much.
There is
Listen, Penguin's
something.
part of the problem. There's so much crime. Stop committing crime. You have a legitimate business in this awesome club with these
Yeah.
awesome musical guests.
Honestly, like the Iceberg Lounge is one of the coolest like criminal hangouts. Like it's a genuinely nice lounge in like pretty much every iteration.
It
Like it
is.
is like fancy schmancy, like high end, like fine dining.
Yeah,
Dude,
typically he doesn't
what
want shit to go down. The hostess is basically a bodyguard because she starts
oh
whooping
yeah.
Batwoman's ass. Like I'm like, where did you find these women? Like,
I
what's the
know
interview
the like
process like?
um what dishonorably discharged women from the
Yeah,
military.
he's like calling Lex. He's like, hey, does Mercy have any friends?
Exactly.
He's like, oh yeah, she
All
does.
of
All right, cool.
Mercy's buddies.
Are they willing to relocate to Gotham? I will pay them extra.
Hmm.
Like I think, like honestly, the Iceberg Lounge is decent. And when you think of like equivalents in like the Marvel universe, like you have like the bar with no name. It's just a normal dive bar. Like I'd rather go to. Listen, I love dive bars as much as the next person. I really do. I'd rather in this universe. I'd rather go to the Iceberg Lounge. It
Yeah.
just looks fun. It just looks
Hmm.
so fun. All right, next is Bruce Wayne and Alfred again. Obviously, I'll
You
have you
want
be
to take
Alfred.
Alfred?
No, I know how
Oh,
much
you
it
want
makes
me
you.
to take it? Okay.
It brings you so much joy.
It does.
Yeah.
I love it so
I
much.
know.
Okay.
The point is her costume links to me. Why? Why does she have what does she have planned? How far will she go?
Well, do be careful, sir. Remember, there are many species in which the female is deadlier than the male.
Love it.
You
God.
tell him, Alfie.
God, he's the best. He really is, man. And
It's
it
okay.
just makes me love him more. Like honestly, like every movie that we keep doing, like in these anime movies, I'm just like, God damn, Alfred's the best. He really is.
It really is.
Uh,
For this last one, I really want you to do Kathy. I
oh,
think you'll slay this one.
yeah, okay. All right.
All right. Are you crazy? How can you do this to me?
It was easy, Daddy. Hold on. All right, hold on,
Literally,
hold
like
on.
every other line.
I know, I know. Mm. It was easy, Daddy. You made it because of the kind of man you are. The kind of man whose wife is killed just because she stands next to him. The kind of man who makes a prison out of his own home and a prisoner out of his own child. The kind of man who spreads misery to everything he touches. And for what? For them?
Nailed it.
The daddy did
So
definitely. And I
good.
stared at it. I was like, I got this. I got this. I got it. The second came, I was like, I don't got it. I lost it. Great.
Oh
But
man,
that
that
is
was great.
that is drama. That was a really good drama class. That was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Next is quiz time. I have I prefaced this before we even started filming the episode. A very random question, but I have a caveat that I think I could get you to figure out who it else. Bet you never. Oh, I did. Performed by Sherry. Has a
Uh-huh.
writing credit by this pocket full of sunshine singer.
Oh crap! I looked up the song earlier, and I didn't look at who any of the writers were.
Well, listen. I mean, honestly, it just because it randomly popped up. The clue here is pocket full of sunshine.
Uh, yeah, who fucking wrote that? Good question. Uh, man, oh
I could give you one more clue.
yes, please.
Their initials are NB.
I don't know why I thought making the N sound would give me a hint here.
I mean, you never know.
Oh gosh. It's what's her name? The
She's British.
not Natalia. Natasha?
Yes, that's the first name.
God, what the fuck is her name? God, Natasha Bedingford or something like that.
Not far off. Natasha Bedingfield.
Bedingfield. Okay,
Yeah.
I kind of got there.
Yeah, I'll give you a passing grade on that. That's a 75. That's a 75 in my book.
I'll
You,
take it. I'll take
yeah,
it. I'm so
exactly.
terrible at names. I'm
Well,
like every time these questions is the name, I'm like, I am so dyslexic, and I'm like,
well, that was the
who
best thing
the
because I was
fuck
like,
are you?
we haven't really done too many quiz times. And I'm like, there's not really much to go on for these. I'm like, God damn it! Like MC University is so easy. Like you guys had so many good questions. And I was like, and I looked, I was like, well, all right, the song. I was like, wait, and I read who wrote it. I was like, if I word it this way, maybe they could work as a question. I'm like, what's your biggest song? Pocket Full of Sunshine. And then part of me was like, her brother is a one hit wonder. I was like, no one knows who Daniel Bedingfield is other than me,
No,
unfortunately. Um, Sly, we both agree this
Mhm.
movie's awesome, but do you have any
This
final
movie's
thoughts?
great. Yeah, I went into this being like, okay, I know it'll look because it's in this universe. much everything I've watched so far, at least visually, has been good. But I wasn't like super confident in the quality of story we were gonna get, and I was absolutely blown away by how well crafted. And I don't know why. Like we've had really solid like movies, like the shows are great. I think it was just Brainiac Attacks kind of put us on a bit of a downer,
Yeah.
and so I didn't really know what to expect. But this movie again absolutely blew me out of the water. The way well crafted, the way it was so enjoyable. Like sometimes I'm watching these movies and I'm like, wow, this is a really great kids property. And I appreciate what it's doing. It's like really like telling such a kid-friendly story in a really interesting way that's still engaging for adults. This one, I feel like this movie was made for the adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
There's a
think the
reason why this
amount
went with the DVD.
of yeah, yeah, this one felt like a direct to DVD. The amount of like inappropriate comments I made about like a children in my notes. At one point I was like, I should feel bad about this, but I'm just matching the vibe
Yeah.
of this movie. So yeah, probably like I wouldn't say it's not child friendly. I think the story is good and
Yeah.
like most of the jokes are gonna go over kids' heads. Like
Oh yeah, 100%.
but I genuinely enjoyed this. I had a great time with it. I think we've recorded this is our fifth one.
Hmm.
It might rank like 2 or 3 for me.
Same.
That might
Yeah.
be recency bias. But yeah, I had a great time with it overall.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie, especially like as the movie progressed. I was like, I started remembering more about the movie, but the fact that I forgot completely about who the mystery was of who the Batwoman was, I
Mhm.
thought that was really executed well. I think, obviously, come on, all three of them are are drawn sexy. Why? You know, even Rocky, sexy nerd.
Yeah.
You know,
And again, it was 2003. Which doesn't forgive it, but like we understand like what the state of like hand drawn animation was at that time. Like the way they were
exactly.
modeling these characters was incredibly sexy, and it is a little uncomfy. You know, that's just what you get at this time.
Yeah, exactly. But movie's great. Voice cast is amazing. Again, we have a banger song in Bet You Never. Like I know it sounds like a joke.
Mhm.
It's legitimately like a really good song.
I'm like trying to think of what playlist I'm gonna put this song on. I think
Yeah, I want to add it to something too. Yeah, because I was like, it's actually surprising. I listened to it a couple times post movie, and I was like, damn, this is actually really good.
Mhm.
Again, great, solid movie. And I think it is surprising when you come out of Brainiac Attacks because Attacks is just it's not a bad movie. It's a very meh movie. You know, it's like right in the middle of the
Mhm.
road. And then I was worried. I spoke about that last week. You know, like I'm worried that this movie's not going to hit because I don't remember too much about it. I was so pleasantly surprised, and this might rank 2 or 3 for me out of the movies we
Mhm.
so far have watched. It's that damn good. I would highly again. It's under 90 minutes, so it's like a tight 70
Mhm.
again. It doesn't waste your time. The mystery's fun. The animation's gorgeous. Like it's just all around an amazing movie. Absolutely go check it out if you can. Obviously not on Max. Somehow, some way. Who knows if one day
Unfortunately.
I even checked Tubi because
Okay,
James
my
Gunn, the
problem with
Suicide Squad,
Tubi
was on there.
is that every time it pops up in like the list of results, I'll click on it and it'll be like currently unavailable. I'm like, then why are you showing it to me? I
Yeah,
don't
fuck you,
I don't
Tubi.
need this. Yeah, speaking of watching these movies totally legally, I did try to find next week's movie. I could not. It
Again?
was nowhere, it doesn't
Damn it.
exist, so I will have to rent it. But that's fine. No, no, I couldn't find it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, like legitimately rent it.
oh. Well, yeah, I'll take a look. I'll scour my side of the
Yeah.
internet as well.
I was looking very hard, but Quick Pass couldn't get anything to work.
Yeah.
Um,
That's recent
but
though.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course, next week we're talking about the 2017 film Batman and Harley Quinn, who we should have a very special guest for. I'm not gonna
Yes,
say who, because maybe things will fall apart between now and the next time we record. But theoretically, we're gonna have an awesome guest. It should be really fun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I am
Should
as
be good.
well. I am as well because we get our first movie version of Nightwing. We get a
Mm-hmm.
second time we see Dick Grayson in this series so
Mm-hmm.
far, so I'm excited. Anything with Grayson in it is always, a okay in my book. Actually, this will be my first time watching the movie too. I know the
Yeah,
controversy
me
around
too.
it. I've never seen the movie or what is considered a controversy.
Yeah, I think I fell off right around 20 from the animated news. So this one I think I missed. We might come back next week and I'll be like, yeah, no, I totally watched that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Who
see.
knows?
But till next time, class is dismissed.